Hello. So, we are here today to pay tribute to the Veloster, our fallen brother. Stormtrooper misses him badly. So, if you watched the video last week where I uncrated the PC, I told you about the accident I had in my Veloster, where I rear-ended someone, the airbag went off and hit me in the chest. By the way, still hurts. It's been, what, a couple of weeks now. Still hurts. So anyway, so the Veloster, oh, well, you knew I was in a wreck. What you did not know is that a little while after that, I get a call from State Farm that says, we're gonna total it. So we're just gonna, pay it off, send you some money. We're done with the Veloster. The Veloster is no more. Okay. Well, now I need a replacement for my Veloster. Only now, if you thought buying a used car was ridiculous back in March when I bought it, the first time when I bought it, look at the prices now. They're insane. So I'm going, well, how am I going to replace this car in this horrible market? Well, my buddies at YAA, they've changed it, it's joinyaa.com, your advocate alliance, who help you get good car deals. And I've mentioned them in previous videos when I was buying cars. So I've been reading their forums and watching their videos. They have a great YouTube channel, Join YAA. Fantastic. Great guys. The Shefska, I say the Shefska brothers. It's a father and son, but they kind of act like brothers. One brother's just really old. I say really old. He's my age. Okay. Anyway, back to what was I talking about? Oh, replacing the Veloster. So I can't buy a used one. So I say, well, I'll look at new cars because at least maybe I can find a dealer who won't go much over MSRP, won't do all the additional dealer markup, although that's quite a challenge these days also. So I started looking around. Well, Hyundai doesn't make the Veloster anymore. Well, they make a Veloster, but it's not like the one I had. It's not the Veloster with the little engine. They only make the Veloster N model now for 2022, which is a much bigger engine, many more horsepower. In fact, kind of an awesome car, but instead of $20,000, it's more like $35,000. So I'm going, well, maybe I could swing that. So I got out my thing and got my calculator and started working. I'm going, well, if I put like $7,500 down, and then if I could get the payments to like under $500 a month, maybe. So then I started looking. Well, remember when I looked for Velosters back in March, and there weren't any? There still aren't any. But there are N's, very few, but there was one over in North Little Rock. So I made plans, Brian and Christina. We've been talking about eating at Chewy's, and Chewy's Mexican restaurant based out of Austin. Well, they've gone nationwide, and there's one in North Little Rock, which is where this dealer is that has the Veloster N. So I went, well, let's go over there and have lunch at Chewy's, which, I think Christina has, but Brian's never eaten at Chewy's. Great Mexican food. And an Elvis shrine in, Memphis. We love the Elvis. So we're going to go over there. Boy, this is a long story. But it has a good ending. Wait. Hang on. It gets better. I'll put timing things below so you'll know what to skip to. Anyway, so we're going to go over there. By the way, that was going to be this coming week is when we were going to go over there. Oh, because YAA, joinyaa.com, I rejoined. I I had canceled my membership because I figured I wasn't buying any more cars. Oops. So I re-upped. So I signed up for another year of Join YAA. And I pulled the VIN number on the Veloster N they had over there. And it says, been on the lot for 44 days. Well, red flag, they're asking additional dealer markup. Because a hot car like that, if they were selling it for MSRP, it would already be gone. So, yeah, I'm probably not buying that. So I'm all a little depressed. So Brian and I were out at lunch. In fact, we were at Christina's restaurant. And he said, well, have you thought about the Kia K5? I said, I've never even heard of the Kia K5. He said, well, he saw one like a year ago, and he thought it looked pretty cool, and he kept meaning to look in. In fact, he was thinking about buying one before he bought his Dodge Charger. I went, well, wait. If you were thinking about it, then it must be a pretty cool car. So maybe we should look at one. So after lunch, I said, I got my handy dandy Mr. Google. Mr. Google said that there was a Kia dealer down near, just over here, down here near where I live. And I looked on their website and they had a couple of K5s sitting on the lot. By the way, I looked them up on joinyaa.com, and one was 1 day on the lot and one was 3 days on the lot, and they had like 2 in transit. I went, wow, they're turning these things over pretty fast. They can't. Anyway. So I said, well, let's just go down there and look. Y'all already know where this is going, don't you? Well, any of you who know me personally, you know where this is going. So we go down to Gossett Kia South, down on Winchester. And this child, this young guy, Najee Garrison, comes out, he's the sales guy, and he says, well, what are you looking at? I said, well, I just wanted to look at this. I want to see, well, it's a 4-door, and remember how I am about coupes, I need the long door. So he went and got the key, and I went to get in, and I didn't really have any trouble getting in and out. It might be because of all the times I've been riding with Brian in his Charger, so I've gotten kind of used to getting in and out of a shorter door car. But anyway, I had no problem getting in and out. I said, well, and so I'm starting looking around going, well, this is pretty nice. Now, if you go look up K5s, you will find that they have a bunch of trims. Now, obviously, if I didn't have Stormtrooper here, the trim I would have gone for was the GT. Or in fact, I might even have wanted a Stinger, but of course, those are impossible to find. I don't think they're, I looked on Kia's website, and there's not one within 500 miles of me at a dealer. So the Stinger was out of the question. And I don't need a fast car. I have a fast car. I need a car for getting around town that gets decent gas mileage and that I don't mind wrecking. Like, may you rest in peace. Anyway, so I took it for a test drive, and it drove really nice. It's 190 horsepower. So it's like 50 horsepower more than the Veloster had. But it's also a very light car, so it drove pretty well. I mean, it was peppy. It wasn't, again, when I want to go really fast, I have this car. So I looked at it some more, and here's where the story gets interesting. Well, to me, maybe not to you. This is where a story takes a turn. So I said to Najee, I pointed at the sticker, and I said, so how far away from that number on that sticker is your price going to be? And he looked at me, kind of scratched his head, looked around. He said, well, there will be tax. I said, what about additional dealer markup? He said, oh, we don't do that. I said, you don't do that at all? He said, no. I said, you sell Tellurides, the most popular vehicle in the world that every other dealer in the country is charging $10,000 to $20,000 additional dealer markup. He said, no, we don't do that. I said, do you have any Tellurides? He said, of course not, because they sell out the second they hit the lot because we don't charge additional dealer markup. So by the way, if you're watching this video, you're anywhere near Memphis and you want a Telluride, Gossett Kia South, Aspernagy Garrison. He will hook you up. By the way, I also talked to the F&I manager, and she said, by the way, so now you know where the story's going. If I talk to the F&I manager, that meant I bought a car. Well, since the cat's out of the bag, let me come over here and stand next to my brand new Kia K5 EX. In fact, when I was over there telling the story, I had just gotten the point about trims. So they have all these trims, and Kia, I think, and Hyundai, and a lot of the Koreans, even some of the Japanese, they don't have a lot of options. It's like trims. You pick a trim, and it comes with a whole bunch of things, and it's take it all or leave it. It's like if you just want the panoramic sunroof, well, you got to get a trim that has it in it. You can't add it to any additional trim. In fact, the Kia website, when you're configuring your car, when you click on like a color, it'll say, oh, you can't get that color in the trim you've picked. You're going to have to go to this other trim. So it pushes you around. So anyway. But the EX is, the highest trim is the GT. That's the big engine, the 275 horsepower. I'll have it somewhere on the screen. It's a bigger engine. This is a 1.6 liter turbo. And that's like a two and a half liter turbo, I think. Anyway, I'll put it on the screen. But anyway, but the next one down is the EX. It's kind of like the luxury version. Well, remember, before Stormtrooper, I had a Cadillac ATS. Before that was a Mercedes C-Class. Before that was another Mercedes C-Class. Before that was a Lincoln MKS. So I've been driving luxury cars for most of the last 10, 15 years. In fact, I configured Stormtrooper as mostly a luxury car. Well, this is a $30,000 luxury car. Yeah, the EX trim is under $30,000. Now, I got the premium, which adds like another $3,400. So this car, the sticker was $33,000. And we went inside and ran the numbers, and I was trying to get, and Hyundai has 0.9% dealer financing. So 0.9% financing, MSRP. So, but we're working the numbers. And I remember I said I figure I could put about $7,500 down, knowing, by the way, that I'm getting a check for like $4,500 from State Farm for the Veloster. So that's basically, I'm putting down like $3,000. But the payment was still a little over $500. And I said, I'd really like the payment over $500. And Nagy said, hold on a minute. And he ran off and he comes back and says, okay, they're discounting it under MSRP enough to get my payment down to like $499. So I paid less than MSRP, got 0.9% financing, no shady add-ons, no tint package, nothing. Well, they hadn't had time, even if they were. By the way, they don't do that at Gossett Kia. They just bring in, they sell them, and they come in another one, they sell it. They just want to turn cars out. I love them. Anyway, so I paid less than MSRP, got 0.9% financing. So I got a really good deal on this car, and I really like this car. So, for about, like I said, for roughly $3,000 out of pocket, I get a brand new car with payments under $500, and it is loaded. I mean, next week, I will do a walk around and review like I did when I got the Veloster and like I did when I got Stormtrooper. Oh, important thing, Stormtrooper, names. Christina already named my new baby. This is Stormtrooper, and this is Shadow. So Shadow is Stormtrooper's little brother. By the way, I would never have bought a black car, but again, it's what they had. They only had, well, they had this one. They actually had another one, but it was sold right before I got there, right before we got there. It was great, by the way, but it wasn't an EX. Well, no, yeah, it wasn't an EX trim, and it wasn't premium. So yeah, this one is like driving a luxury car. It even has brake hold, which I had in my Mercedes, where when you stop at a light, you can take your foot off the brake and the car won't go. I love the brake hold, and I missed it ever since I didn't have the Mercedes. And what, that's been like 4 years. Well, I got it back. Oh, and the other feature this thing has when I was on my test drive, you know, I'm going to test drive, so I'm stopped at a light, and I'm looking around, fooling with stuff, and the car says, the leading vehicle is pulling away. They have a warning thing that tells you that the car in front of you is leaving, so that you know the light has changed without looking up. Well, I'm old. I guess I need that because I wasn't paying attention. So anyway, so I'll show you all the features and stuff. It's really nice. It has a lot of the stuff the Veloster had, like the recording, the Sirius XM presets, so that you can switch channels and check back. It has a nav system. It's the EX highest trim, and the premium on top of that, which adds all sorts of the Bose 12 speaker sound system and all sorts of other stuff. So like I said, next week we'll do an in-depth walk around review, talk about this car. But I know it's black, and I don't like black cars. My Lincoln was black, but the MKS, so that was almost 10 years ago. And it's just too hot. But fortunately, I'm buying this here in October, so it's about to get cold, so having a black car will be a good thing. Oh, but I do have ventilated and heated seats, both sides, so when it gets hot again, at least I have ventilated seats, and I have light upholstery. Well, again, you'll see all that next week. So, but for today, I just wanted to tell you the story of how I found a dealer, Gossett Kia South, that does not put additional dealer markup on their new cars, even Tellurides. And again, Kia has they have 0% financing on, I guess, the ones that don't sell. There's a couple of their models that they have 0%. Oh, I forgot to tell you, this is actually, remember I told you never heard of a K5? This used to be called an Optima. This was the Kia Optima, but they redesigned it and it made it so different they decided they needed to change the name. And K5 is not actually a new name, it's what the Optima was called in Korea. So they just took the Korean name and brought it over here. So this is the K5, used to be an Optima. It's a sedan, not a coupe, but again, the doors are fairly wide. Well, here, I can show you this one. See, that's a pretty wide door. That's a pretty easy space to get into, even if you're a big guy like me. Well, again, I'll show you more about that next week. So, that's my video for the week. I found a dealer, didn't charge additional dealer markup, actually gave me a discount off MSRP. Okay, not a very big one, a few $100. Hey, a few $100 under MSRP is still under MSRP. That's the way I look at it. Oh, and if I pulled the VIN number on this on joinyaa.com, and Ray's thing was it was a 15 on the negotiability score, and Ray said they ain't going to negotiate on this, and they were pretty much right. But they weren't going to charge additional dealer markup either, and these days, that's a find. And again, I got the great financing. Again, Najee Garrison with a G, Najee Garrison, N-A-J-E-E Garrison. He was my sales guy. He was fantastic. The F&I manager was great. Didn't try to, well, I mean, she showed me all the stuff on the menu, but she didn't push any of it, didn't try to talk me into anything. Well, she knew I wanted my payments under $500, and if I added anything, it was going over $500. So she knew I wasn't going to add anything. We had a great time. The whole process from us getting there to me driving off with the car was like under 4 hours. And some of that was waiting for the car to get ready and getting gas in it and stuff. So, I mean, but the actual process was quite painless and enjoyable. And so again, I highly recommend Gossett Kia South. If you want a Kia, that's the place. Now, by the way, Gossett is a family that they have all sorts of dealerships. I'm thinking if this one doesn't do additional dealer markup, maybe none of them do. So no matter what brand you're looking for, check to see if there's a Gossett in Memphis that sells it and see if you can find out if they do additional dealer markup. Because again, there were no shenanigans, no add-ons, no that. It was sticker, actually a little less than sticker, plus tax. Oh, I think the dock fee was like 600 something. Okay, that's a little high, but I still feel like I got a decent deal. I'm happy. I love the car. I wish it were white, but you can't have everything. So that's it for this week. Next week, again, we'll do the walk around, detailed review. I'll tell you all, show you all the features and the panoramic sunroof and the styling, and it's a really nice car. Well, you can already see here. I mean, look at these daytime running lights. Oh, and they're amber. It's not white. They're amber daytime running lights, and they run all the way here and back up here. It's just I'm stunned. A car I had never heard of, and the first time I saw one, I bought one. Now again, for those of you who know me, you go, well, yeah, that's who you are. Anyway, I'll see you next time, where we will go spend more time talking about this car. Then after that, after next week, we'll get back. I have more stuff for the new computer. I got the Elgato arm and some other stuff. So we'll be back. We'll be back for cars next week, tech the week after. And I have more tech coming because I'm gonna put in smart devices, lighting stuff in my house. So we'll be doing that in the coming weeks as well. So long. See you next time.